Hey guys, just wanted to share with you. I have had a blade event with my White Lightning and talked to the guys out in the Hurricane Wind Power, and graciously they were able to shed some light on what may have happened. We had a windstorm come through that was pretty heavy duty, and this particular generator has been on top of the pole for over 2 years with really no problems at all, and came out one day and the blades were gone. I was able to find evidence, and I'll show you that. If I can get this to turn around. As you can see, I have the tower down. The gen pole is up in the air and it's on the pivot there, so the tower's down. And this is what we had left. This blade I found at the base of the tower. The other ones, I have no idea where they may have gone. But the blade failure was most likely due to something striking the blade during the windstorm. You can see there's a really big indentation about the width of my finger right here, where something definitely smacked this blade hard. And these pieces I were able to find right at the base of the tower. So I'm pretty sure that what we've had here is a strike by something blowing through the wind. What was left of the hub, of course, once one of the blades came off, it threw everything out of balance, and the rest of the blades, I'm sure, just broke off based on being so out of balance. We've got the bolts out here, but you can see where it just sheared off, and luckily there was no damage to the spinner cover that goes over top of the hub. And so it's intact, which was really nice. Glad that was that way. If you've never taken one of these off before, after they've been on for a long period of time, as it attaches on here, they can be quite difficult if you don't have a puller to get it off. I was able to pop this one off just by putting 2 levers underneath and just giving it a quick pop. It came right off, no issues with that. The turbine itself, the bearing on the inside seems to be fine. There's no drag. There's no play side to side. I did take a dial indicator and just run it around the shaft, and there was no really indication of anything being bent, so that held up really well during that. We have the new blades in there now drying. Put a fresh coat of paint on the new blades. Want to protect those from the UV, and we'll mount those to the hub tomorrow, get that on there and raise the tower. A lot of people ask, and the tail, I've got it, I've repainted it, it's in there now, and you know, once you've got the tower down, it's a good time to repaint it. Sometimes people will ask, you know, how tall the tower is. I measured it from the center of the turbine to the base of the tower, and it is exactly 50 feet to the center once it is hoisted up in the air. The anemometer, speed indicator, wind speed indicator is 6 feet from the center. This little area right here I've got taped up is where the bottom part of the blade comes into play, and these 40-inch blades come right about into here. So we've got plenty of room between that and the anemometer so that it doesn't really affect anything. Of course, it would have to be pretty much right over top of it, as it would typically create a vortex off the tip in order for it to give some kind of an erroneous speed indication. So this is sitting up 44 feet off the ground, and then 6 feet up to the center of the hub. So tomorrow I will put this all together and we'll hoist it up and show you what that looks like. That's it for now. Okay guys, we are back at the cabinet. We're getting ready to install the new turbine blades and raise the tower. So safety first. We have turned the DC out of the turbine off, which, as you can see, we have nothing going on with the Classic. We are in stop mode. We have the stator shorted. You can do that on the side here by either going from run to stop with this here. This is further down the chain as it goes out to the three-phase down here, so I have it turned on. So now we have a short going across all three legs. That way the turbine will not steer. Once it is erected, I'll come back, unshort the three legs and fire the power up, and we'll let it do its thing. All right, next thing will be the blades. Okay, we have reinstalled the tail feathers, and I painted them red. In the past, I had noticed that I had difficulty telling which way it was pointing from a distance. So we will now have red tail feathers, and for those history buffs, we'll say that is in recognition of the Tuskegee Airmen who had red tails on their P-51 Mustangs. And I'm getting ready to tape this up now before I put the blades on. I have re-greased the bearing at the bottom where it sits on the race. Force that grease in there all the way around, and then I'll take some tape and tape around it to help hold the grease in. At the top where my slip ring is, I have also greased all the way around the cap. Just helps keep moisture away, and I will retape around that, and then we will reinstall the blades. All right. Okay, the blades have been attached. What I wanted to show you before I put the spinner on is, you'll notice here there's a little notch out indentation so that you can't put the blade on wrong, if you notice, and it also says front, so you notice that. But I like to torque this bolt down and make sure that that is seated properly so it's not riding high on one side. So once that's in, this side follows real well, and then they're all torqued down to where the crush washer or the flat lock washer is all the way down, and I like it to go just a little bit into the plastic as it goes. But as you can see, we've got everything greased and taped up now. So now the next process is going to be to put the spinner on, and then we will hoist the Vector 2.0 White Lightning all the way up, lock it down, and we'll start turning things on. Okay, it's a little bit windy. Sorry about that with the video. As you can see, the way that we're going to do this, we've got our main mast, and it pivots on this base. This is our gin pole going up, and we've got guy wires at each junction. And over here we've got the chain hoist, so you know it's an inch at a time. We've got a safety before and a safety after. Bring it down, let the pressure off, get another bite, and each time the goal is to bring that top of that pole down here where we can latch everything up. And we'll come back to the video after we get it up. Okay, we got it locked down, and she's up there. We'll get over here and turn the brake off, the shorting bar, and start firing everything up. Looks like our current wind speed is about 15, 14, 17, 18 miles an hour. We'll get the brake turned off and it should start to spin. We'll go ahead and get the Midnight back online and take a step back here. And now that the brake is off, I'm going to give you a visual. Blades are turning. She's doing her thing. Back to the cabinet here and see what we get for results. Okay, looks like we're making about 50 volts, 50 volts. Aux 2 is kicking on, which is the clipper. So it's making sure we don't overspeed or overcharge. You can see occasionally wind gusts sometimes are jumping into the 20s, but looks like it's pretty sustained around 15-ish, and everything is working well. All right, so we have replaced the blades, serviced the tower, and now we got to pick up the tools. Okay guys, just to recap, we had a blade event during a windstorm, and something definitely went through the blades, whether it was a microburst or what it may have been. But like I said, there's an indentation in this one piece of blade that I found, about the size of my finger. And of course the tower is up 50 feet, but it was a pretty good wind event. And the good folks at Hurricane Wind Power, Tony and his guys, have taken great care of me, and we've got the replacement blades and the replacement hub installed, and she's up there doing her thing. Very happy about that. Just one last check of the cabinet before we button everything up. According to the wind, we are showing about 15 to 16 miles per hour on our anemometer, and it looks like we're making about 50 volts. And you can see that the aux 2 is coming on, which our batteries have plenty of juice in them, and we're in the absorb function. So the Midnight clipper is doing its thing by slowing down the turbine. And let's see how, oh yeah, she's nice and warm up here in the vent holes. So there's plenty of juice going across the diversion load. And then of course over here on the solar side, it's just hanging out doing its thing. But again, lots of kudos to the guys at Hurricane Wind Power. They have always taken care of me. This one has been up for about 2 years without any issues. And again, it wasn't a failure of the blades or of the turbine or the slip ring joint or anything that was purchased on that Vector 2.0 White Lightning turbine. It was something went through the blades. And we're very happy to be back up and operating. With that, you guys have a great time out there. Make power.